really shouldn't be in charge of purchasing the alcohol.
Oh, it was Canadian. It was...
Not really at all, even a little bit. 7 shots deep.
Awkward. Well, this guy is psycho. He's sadistic as fuck.
We need to just go walk in the woods. Let's go. Your mind's about to be blown. Where's Astral? I miss you. Astral.
R.I.P.
Remember, I shot one person. She's like, and then I go, hey, Johnny.
Alright, D.
I see you.
Liz. Okay.
We are going to do goat yoga, and I'm really excited about it. And basically, it's this place, I think it's in Friendswood, and you go and do yoga class, and there's goats, and they'll like jump
just
on your back.
walking around, like walking around you while you yoga?
Just hang out. Yeah. I'm sure they're like pooping and doing goaty things, but I'm so excited about it. I want to do it so bad. Thinking like in downward dog, and then a goat jumps up on your back.
Do you get to take a bunch of pictures?
I'm going to. You were telling me about your 30 days of yoga for this year.
Okay, so Adrian, if you guys don't know, there's a YouTube.
How'd you find out about this?
Probably from you 10,000 years ago.
Maybe from your friend?
Maybe from you. Because you've been watching her for years, right?
Yeah, I'm into that.
So, yeah, I knew her from you, and then Nancy started getting really into her in the last few months. So she's always talking about her. But it just came up on YouTube.
She's cute as a button. If you haven't checked out her YouTube and you're interested in yoga at all, it's free videos that are like really easy to digest. She's got a pleasant speaking voice. She's just adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And also super knowledgeable about yoga.
Super, super knowledgeable. Yeah, I watched the trailer for the new one. I think it's called Dedicate or something. And I want to try it.
I've been doing hot yoga. I try to go like once a week. I've been spotty at best.
Okay, explain to me again what hot yoga is.
So you basically go, and it's an hour-long class where the room's like 100 degrees, and they have like these special heaters that keep it warm. And you go in and you do, one of them's a vinyasa flow, and he leads a class, and you do it's the same poses every time you take
every
the
single
class.
time, yeah.
But there's one that it's actually really super challenging, but you tend to be more limber because you're warm.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you get in a little bit deeper into stretches and stuff. And you just sweat your buns off, and it feels so good afterwards. You feel like you're born again.
I hate the heat. Like, I should not live in Texas, hate the heat. Like, I don't...
It's really intense at first, but if you work out enough to where, like, you appreciate that feeling of your body getting warm, you start to like it. Because you feel like you're just really working through... I mean, it's probably
I'd have to do it to... Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, when you think about it, you're going to get warm anyways.
Yeah.
But, you know, so there's the goat yoga. That might be a good fit for you. I think that's a pretty nice climate.
Would be cool. Just because I like goats.
Yeah, goats are cool. I don't know if
they
do the
alpaca yoga.
They spit.
Yeah, it's like intense yoga.
Like extreme yoga.
Like, yeah, extreme yoga.
Downward dog, go!
Watch out for your butthole.
What? Oh no. I thought you were talking about the kicking.
That's what I was talking about.
You know those llamas or whatever you said.
Alpacas
fucking kicking you right in the butthole. Edit all of this out.
Okay. So we're back. We're back. It's like no time has flown by. I'm wearing the same outfit that I was wearing the last time we had an episode.
Wash your ass.
I know. I'm just disgusting. Hello and welcome. You're listening to RidicuLiz, a podcast based in Houston where we discuss all things scandalous, bizarre, and downright ridiculous. Hello.
Hello.
I have today with me again, Sheila.
What up?
What up?
Hey, everyone.
Okay, we're gonna continue our theme, which I don't even think I said in the last one.
You didn't.
I sure didn't.
I can establish it now with a fun fact.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Less than 0.5% of all violent crimes are committed by women.
Less than 0.5%?
Less than 0.5%. So that means...
So 99.5%.
Yep. is men.
His penis.
I mean, I don't think dicks are, I guess, yeah. All right, guys. Listen up, Tyrion.
I'm listening.
Got a story for you. So I got most of these facts from, I watched it was about an hour-long Killer Instinct documentary on YouTube.
Is that the one you texted me?
It's not the same as the Lady Killer.
The Lady Killer one, okay.
Which, did you watch
yours?
I
subscribed to it, but I didn't,
Did you look to see if Catherine Knight had one?
Oh, she didn't.
Oh, okay.
Not on that one. She did have documentaries, but not on that one.
I didn't look at mine either. So, when I started researching my story, I also used Murderpedia and Wikipedia, like View Murderpedia.
Murderpedia?
I don't know why I said it that way.
Pedia?
Murderpedia. Can I tell you that while I was watching the Killer Instinct documentary, they say the word pedophile several times, but they keep saying pedophile.
I've heard people say it that way too, and I don't
listen. You know the internet meme, the pedo bear?
Yeah.
He would be a peta bear. That does not make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a northern thing. They're from New England.
Where does that put Pedialyte?
Well, I guess Pedialyte doesn't make any sense.
Pedialyte?
So we would be wrong as Southerners, which y'all know we're not. So
no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like pedophile. I've heard that.
I mean, I don't like pedophiles.
I mean, I don't like pedophiles or pedophiles, but you know what I mean.
But that was the only thing. It was very good, like very informative documentary, but that was really distracting to me for a large portion of it. But what I was gonna say was this was not that long ago, a little over 10 years ago, and there was so much video of like the court case, news, you know, when she was arrested, and
is that her name?
Yes.
I like that. You told me that already.
I did tell you that already.
I forgot though.
I mean, I guess that'll lead me to my intro. This story is about Sheila Labarre. Did kind of draw my eye to it that she has the same name as me. That's the only thing we share.
Okay. She's evil Sheila.
So, Sheila Labarre was born the day before my birthday on Independence Day. She was born on July 4th, 1958.
Was that also the year before your birthday?
I'm not that old, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay, so when she was growing up, she was abused by her father, who was an alcoholic. There's also stories that he raped her and that later let another adult male rape her as well. I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah. So she had a rough time growing up. Her sister, I found a video of her talking about a story when they were younger that the father was attacking them. They were in a car and the father was attacking them. The mom grabbed Sheila and ran out of the car. And while he was, he went to the garage to find something, and he found a metal quart of paint thinner. You know, one of those square containers. And he grabbed the handle and wailed it at them, and it hit little toddler Sheila Labarre in the head.
Oh, head injury.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. And it was just, it's so upsetting because her sister is telling the story and says that she went to protect herself, and she was like, her 4 fingers were dented in from the edge of the paint can, or the metal container hit her in the head. So not the best.
Not the best start for our Sheila.
Yeah. They to get away from him, they ran into a cornfield around their house, where they had to hide in it, which I feel kind of comes into play later, maybe a little bit. Okay, so not the best childhood. She eventually ran away from home and was a beauty contestant in competitions when she was younger, which this is a picture of,
I was about to say, what did she look like?
Of her when she was younger. What's your thoughts? What are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking she has her hair.
She wishes. Go on. So by my hair, she means long, brunette, very full.
Almost black. Your hair is almost black. No, she's just pretty normal looking. Pretty standard.
Red lipstick, red dress. Kind of seductive. Okay, so she was a beauty contestant, and then she started her new hobby a little bit later in life. She has a major history of problems with her significant others. There's boyfriends that she's stabbed with scissors. She calls the cops on them all the time. She just has a long history of being a psycho girlfriend. And
same.
So, People can throw stones. I think that she actually legit, there was some issues there.
Yeah.
100%. During her first marriage, she tried to kill herself by overdosing on prescription drugs, and then she drove her car into a ditch. And I don't know if it's from the accident or from the pills, but she was in a coma for quite a while after that. And then when she came out of the coma, they put her in a mental institution for a month. And she later confided in her sister that she was like raped almost daily by the orderlies at the mental facility, like beaten, assaulted. And this lady says a lot of things. I don't know whether or not there's any validity to that. I don't think it was pursued, but she had a great distaste for mental health institutions and like people that might help her from a personal bad experience. So when she was 27, she was looking through a magazine and she came across a personals ad from a guy named Wilfred Labarre. He's a doctor. So I think he'd been married twice before, and I want to say both of his wives had passed of natural causes, and he was like super, super in love with his second wife, and he was really, really depressed.
Like actually past the natural causes?
Yes,
or like
I believe cancer.
Hint past the natural causes?
No,
okay.
I think it was legit. Everyone describes him as just like a nice old guy, and he was madly in love with his second wife, and when she died, he was super depressed and like isolated, So it was a big deal for him to put out this personals ad.
Okay.
So Sheila's 27 at this time, and she comes across this ad, and
is that like the OK Cupid of then?
Basically. So it was her MO for a long time. This is Dr. Labarre. He's a nice looking guy,
Okay.
Friendly face, like big stash. She was into it. He was obviously a little bit older than her, quite a bit older than her.
Okay, that's okay sometimes.
Age is just a number.
As long as it's over 18.
she was definitely like immediately interested, and her way of broaching hooking up with him or answering the personals ad is she mails him a nude photo of herself. And the photo
is stick out in the crowd.
This is taken from a cover of a book that was written. And it's the photo it was a Polaroid that she mailed to Dr. Labarre, and her hair is kind of covering anything innocent. But like, how would you describe the look in this photo?
That's like a sexy come hither.
It's seductive.
I was trying to, what's the vocal of this?
Hubba
hubba.
Yeah, so it's a hubba hubba photo. Dr. Labarre is obviously like, ooh, hot damn.
Yeah.
27-year-old, come on down, girl. So,
how old is he again?
I want to say he's like late 60s at this point, or maybe not even.
Maybe in his 50s?
Maybe like mid 60s. There's quite a large age gap between them.
Okay.
So he lets her move in, and from what I understand, it was kind of fuzzy, the dates, but her ex-husband, Wayne Ennis, also lives on the farm with them.
Yeah.
And like Labarre knows about him. He like takes care of him. I think he even gave him a job. I think she might have like facilitated that he got her ex-husband a job. So common laws Dr. Labarre, even though that's illegal in the state that they're living in. Like you can't just do that. I think someone has to die or something for it to be legally binding. But she just takes his name. Suddenly she's Sheila Labarre.
So they were never
really married.
Oh, okay.
And she just like decided that was a thing.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Okay. Well, she was crazy, so.
Yeah, and so now she's got her ex-boo thing. He's from Jamaica, Wayne Ennis is.
Okay.
And he's living at the farm with her, and things are just great for Sheila. So she routinely starts carrying a pistol everywhere she goes and threatening them with it. I saw stories of her doing this to both her ex-husband and to Dr. Labarre, where she would shoot over their heads. She told Wayne Ennis she was going to send him back to Jamaica in a box. And just like terrorizing them and controlling them with fear. At one point, the neighbors testified that they had seen Dr. Labarre scared out into the orchard where he had to sleep overnight. And then they found him at the edge of his land, and they picked him up and they were like, do you want to ride? And he was like, yeah, but drop me off like outside of the farm. He didn't want to go all the way up, and he didn't want, I guess, them to see. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But, like, clearly something's wrong, and he was very, very scared.
Yeah.
So...
Poor guy.
Yeah. Wayne Ennis testifies that at one point Sheila had told him that she wished a horse would kick Dr. Labarre in the head so he would die. And then she actually asked Wayne Ennis if he would strangle him to death for her. And he was like, this guy has taken me in and he's my homie. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously. So Wayne Ennis bounces. Some time passes and Dr. Labarre dies of heart failure in the year 2000 at the age of 74.
So she didn't kill him?
Probably not Sheila's fault, you know?
Oh, okay.
He was cremated several days after he passed, and it was never investigated to my knowledge.
Yeah.
That's kind of for you to decide.
Okay.
And if it's due to heart failure, I wouldn't doubt it's because she's fucking terrorizing him.
Yeah, like scared to death, literally.
Yeah, literally. He did have a history of heart disease.
Yeah.
So, like, she probably didn't. We don't know.
Yeah.
You decide. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Does she...
Okay.
She actually does kill someone else, though, right?
Let's see. Let's read on. When he passed away, he left her the farm and all of his money, even though he had like direct kin, which is kind of suspect because she wasn't even really married to him.
Yeah.
And she just decided like, we're common law and I'm Labarre and this is mine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
Well, I mean, she did, so.
So she really got everything? Like,
yep.
Wow.
So she's chilling at the farm, you know, Casa de Sheila. About 5 years later, and shenanigans. She's always calling the cops on her neighbor. Like, she's constantly asking them to come out. The cops that worked near her house that would, you know, answer her calls all the time would be like, she called us way too many times, just constantly. And she would become enraged if you did not offer to fix the problem exactly the way that she wanted it addressed. She had
bitch.
and a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
About 5 years later, while she's chilling at the farm, she, well, not while she's chilling at the farm, but, you know, this goes on. Her craziness ensues. She meets Mike Deloge at a halfway house and moves him into the farm to work with her, and
she's going to a halfway house.
Yeah, it didn't really say if like she had put herself in it or she was like scoping it out.
Maybe she was like volunteering or something, or no, she's just crazy.
I think she like, was honestly scoping the scene because she definitely had a penchant for the disenfranchised and you know, people who she felt were easier to victimize, basically. They start hooking up because again, her MO is, you know, shaking her thing. And she also liked to advertise all the money that she had. And I've got this beautiful farm and you'll have it made with me if you come, and it's just gonna be sex all the time and you're gonna be so happy. Like, come on down. So he comes over there. Things are not good. She meets Mike's mom, and she at one point calls the cops and says that she's afraid for her son, that she's afraid that she's going to kill him. She beats
Mama
him.
knows.
Yeah. The neighbors had witnessed her beating him senseless with a stick at one point, and suddenly he goes missing. So
Where'd he go?
So about a year after Mike, she's doing her dating thing again. Put some feelers out.
Back on OkCupid.
Yeah. She wants to meet.
She wants to swipe right.
She's back on Tinder. So there's actually going to be it's a phone dating site. So
is it
site.
Like okay, never mind. It's dumb. Like how they used to make videos, linked video. You know, I'm a fun-loving guy. Yeah. Remember that? But it's like that on the phone though. Like, do you have like a message of yourself?
I think so. And then you know, dial 9 if you want to talk to Ed. Like, I think it's that kind of thing.
Nice.
So she meets a guy on this phone app. I keep calling app and website and stuff like that, but like it's this call-in line, personals line.
This is like the 90s right now.
No, it's actually like it's in 2000. Let's see.
Oh, 2000.
It's like 2006.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there's definitely There's probably apps and was there apps?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I've used.
I don't think so. Because 2006 we were at Flicks and I was using. I had that chocolate, that LG chocolate with like no screen. I don't think smartphones were a thing then, really.
We were still like razors. Razors was the new thing.
Yes. I mean, I was super behind the times then, but
I think I had.
You had an LG too.
Did I?
Because we had the same phone for a while. But I had the one that did that, and you had I
had
the one that did this.
Yeah, it was like a little
it had a QWERTY keyboard, and
I had a bunch of different phones.
That's true.
I had a lot of flip phones. where it had like the screen, but it wasn't like a touch screen.
Yeah,
or
it's not
anything
like a
that.
smartphone.
Yeah.
So I
There
don't
are
think
definitely
they
no
had.
apps.
No.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Okay, so she's on this phone dating app, and she meets this guy and hooks up with him. He is in his early 20s. His name's Kenneth Countie.
Kenneth Countie. I don't know why that sounds funny.
Oh, okay. Well, that's his
Mr.
name.
Countie.
And he was diagnosed as developmentally disabled. He had a mental capacity of about a 12-year-old.
Aw.
Yeah. And he's just, I have a picture of Kenny I can show you.
She's really nice to him, right? That's the rest of the story.
Yep, he's the best, and they live happily ever after, and she's suddenly super, super nice.
That's the same person?
This is Kenny.
Oh, okay.
This is Mike.
Oh, okay. He's got a little unibrow going on.
He's got a little unibrow, but like, doesn't he just have a sweet smile?
Yeah.
And he got to be in the military, and he was just a great guy. He it's so sad. He was discharged, possibly due to the, developmental disability.
Yeah.
But he also got legal rights to live independently. And when he came home, he was going to get his own place and working at a car wash. And he was really depressed because he'd never been in love, and he was really lonely and wanted a girlfriend. And that's why he got on this phone dating app.
Yeah.
He had a lot of social issues. He couldn't deal with bullying or understand it.
Yeah.
And it was just, he just wanted to be close to someone. So, he also, I should mention, was really depressed when he got out of the military, and he ended up trying to take his own life shortly before meeting Sheila. So he was already kind of
he was already in a bad place,
which is her cup of tea.
Yeah, apparently.
So Sheila quickly moved him to the farm after they started talking, and like I said, she used the same ploy of being extremely sexual right off the bat and talking about how much money she had and how great it would be. And he would find out that's not necessarily exactly the case. Kenny's mom was very close to them. They talked every single day on the phone. And when she found out, I think she went 4 days without talking to him. Mm-hmm. And she started getting really worried. She was like, this is abnormal and I can't get a hold of him. So she figured it out. What happened, I guess he had told her, I'm dating this woman. Mm-hmm. So his mom called the cops and asked them to do a wellness check on them. So they go to the house and they go to ask Sheila what's going on. And she's being really shady at the door. And then she's like, okay, he can come talk to you, but he can't go outside. So she goes and gets Kenny, brings him to the door, won't let him go outside to talk to the cops. And the cops are like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, this is dope. Sheila's the bomb, and we got a lot of rabbits. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they really have a lot of rabbits?
They have a shitload of rabbits. So about 2 days after the wellness visit, the cops get a notarized document that's signed by Kenny that says that Sheila has rights to speak on his behalf legally. Totally not weird at all.
Okay.
Remind me.
With lawyers or without lawyers? He just wrote this up?
I think it was a legally binding document she wrote that he signed. Remind me later to bring up something about the legality of the document.
Okay.
So some time passes. She calls up Kenny's mom and is like, hey, he's coming back home to you. And her mom's like, okay.
Good. I miss my son.
Cool. So right after that, Sheila calls the cops and says, hey, he's going back to his mom's house, and I just want to let y'all know because you came out to check on him and everything, just letting you know he's going back home to his mom's. And then suddenly in the middle of this phone call with the cops, she starts playing this tape, unsolicited. She starts ranting and raving about how Kenny was a pedophile, and she has proof of it recorded, and she just starts playing this tape to the cops over the phone. And in the tape, it's Kenny confessing, he's super, super upset, and she's interrogating him and screaming at him. And he's confessing to basically agreeing with her that he had been a victim of incest, that this had driven him to pedophilia, that he had, I think, walked in front of one of his young family members with no clothes on. And I listened to part of the tape. It's not pleasant. during this, the cops can hear him like pausing and then what sounds like purging in the background.
Like he's stopping to throw up?
Yes. And Sheila says into the microphone, she says that she is, this is what I was going to tell you, she's, I can't remember exactly how she phrased it, but basically that she was judge and jury, and like she was able to do a lot of things with the law because she was a notary public. That gave her like legal knowledge, but that doesn't mean anything. It means that you paid $80 to buy a stamp so you can like witness documents.
Yeah.
You know, she believed that it gave her jurisdiction in New Hampshire to
make legal papers and legally binding shit.
Yeah. So she says that in the beginning of this video, and while she's interrogating him, she can, after he starts puking, you can hear her say, the county is pretending to puke. Let it be known that he is fake puking, and just insanity.
Yeah.
So when the cops hear that, they have enough evidence to do another wellness check, like electively, obviously.
For sure.
And the mom is obviously freaking out. The cops,
so she knows this is going on as well? Or like this is just one phone call that this is all happening on?
No, Sheila calls the mom and says, hey, Kenny's on his way home. And then he just doesn't show up. So she's already freaking out. Then she calls the cops. All this stuff happens and plays the tape. I don't know that the cops told Kenny's mom about the tape.
Okay.
It didn't seem like they were very informative to the mom at all, but they were like, we're going to get involved and go and do a wellness check on Kenny again because like mom's already worried and this is weird even for Sheila's crazy ass. So we're going to go and check it out. So they show up at the house and there is a burn barrel. I have a picture of the grounds for you so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. So they show up. This is her farm. Well, this is Labarre's farm. And this is the front, like the house. And then this is, I believe this is where they burn stuff, you know, on farms. They have like trash heaps and whatever, and they do controlled fires. Well, they said that the fire was super close to the house, like inappropriately close to the house. That kind of flagged the police officer. So they're walking up and they see a fire going, containing hedge clippers and a burnt out mattress and box spring. And they don't have a warrant. They're just doing the wellness check. So all they can do is look around. And they can only look around like where she's letting them. So she's in the yard. She's like happy that they're there. She's acting like excited to give them a tour and like it's no big deal. And they pass, I think it's more than one fire. They pass another one like closer to the house that had a huge...
And these fires are already put out, right? Or they're still going
smoldering.
on? Oh, okay.
So like it had burnt out and like just needed to be stoked and like, but there's like fuel that you can see. And they walk past one fire and it has a really long bone with a meaty mass attached to one edge of it.
Okay.
But like really long.
Yeah.
And when the cops are like, what is that? She was like, it's one of my rabbits that died. And I think she at one point said that like, someone had hurt the rabbit, but long story short, this bone is nothing to worry about. It's a rabbit bone. Yeah, but it was obviously not. It's like long, and like I said, described as having a meaty mass attached to it. They can't take that because they don't have a warrant, and they go into the house. They can't just
probable cause?
I'm not really sure. They told her they continue to go through the house. They told her not to get rid of the bone, and the only thing that they saw of Kenny's that was still there was a pair of his shoes. And when they asked her if they could take his shoes, she said no, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I think like obviously she can't physically stop them, but I think it's inadmissible in court if they don't have a warrant, if they just went ahead and took it. So they go back and they're like working furiously to get a warrant. That's enough to get a warrant.
And they can like expedite that shit, right? Like within hours?
I don't know how long it takes.
I mean, in a lot of shows that I watch, you can.
I mean, you tell me. It sounds like you're a lot more knowledgeable about this than I am.
But yeah, that could be totally false.
I just know that there was for some reason they had to leave at that point and couldn't come back until later.
Yeah.
And it must have taken a while to get the warrants because there's something that happens in between.
Okay.
So on the 25th of March in 2006, I think is when she's brought in for an interview. They kept telling her, like, please come in and talk to us about Kenny's missing. You know, his mom said he hasn't come home and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, fine, I'll come talk to you, but I'm bringing my rabbit. And
okay.
There's a legit video of the interrogation from the police recording of her in the interview room, and she's got like a large pet taxi, like cat carrier, and this huge rabbit. She pulls the rabbit out and like puts him in her lap, and she's like stroking.
Like Tempest size?
No, like twice.
Twice Tempest size?
Yeah. Like toe size.
It's a big rabbit.
Maybe even a little bit bigger.
Maybe
It's
even
enormous.
size.
It's enormous. But it's on her lap, and she's petting it, and she's just like calmly talking to the cops about how, you know, she doesn't know where he is. It's no big deal. She randomly also starts talking about the pedophilia again. She's being really disjointed, and kind of, it seems like she's trying to derail the interview.
Throw him off.
When she first goes in to the police station for questioning, one of the cops is talking to her, and she lets him know that she's carrying a .38 Smith & Wesson. And when he says okay, and he asks if she has any other weapons on her, she lifts up her shirt and pops her tits out, and then she starts taking her pants off, because that's her only method that she knows of controlling and manipulating men, is just to immediately like. So she's got her rabbit, petting the rabbit, and while she's talking to the officer, the rabbit pisses on her lap, like it starts peeing on her leg, and the cop is like notices this, and she like doesn't respond. She just, I think she wiped her leg a little bit, and she's just like la la la.
Was she wearing shorts or like jeans?
Pants.
So like
It's New Hampshire. I think it was cold. It looked like she was wearing a coat.
Okay.
So you can't really see that.
I was like, she wiped out like she was wearing shorts. She's like, oh, brush it off, or was like in her
No,
clothing.
it was. I think it was like ineffectual, like dab.
Okay.
Oh, my little rabbit. friend.
You.
She also she keeps talking over the cop and like interrupting and changing the subject, and keeps saying maybe Kenny's in the bag. And the cop that's interviewing her is like, what does that mean? Like, is that like a turn of phrase? Oh, he's in the bag, you know? She's like, yeah, or maybe he's a pedophile. Maybe there's a pedophile in a bag. And they don't understand, and she's not explaining anything.
Yeah.
She changes the subject whenever they get close to why Kenny's missing. So with all of this weirdness and like everything that they saw, they end up obviously getting a warrant. And they go into the home. They find a wall that has blood all over it. And there's two different kinds. There's one that's like much older that has dust stuck to it, and then there's some that looks super fresh. The fresh blood is in patterns consistent with cast off. You know what cast off is?
Like,
yep, just like that. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Like the swoosh off the.
It happens when you stab someone. Like when you go back to stab again, you're
flicking it.
Yeah, flicking all the blood off.
All right.
And so it goes out in lines like that. And they said the fresh blood.
I'm familiar. I watched Dexter.
Well, there you go. You know his little really red yarn? There's a lot. There's a lot of
red yarns.
Yeah.
Do you think he was allowed to use a different color yarn?
Dexter?
Yeah.
Like if he wanted to?
Yeah.
Like if he was like
did he choose red to be like, looks like blood? Or was it there like a real reason it had to be red?
I don't know.
I'm thinking too far.
I feel like black yarn would look bizarre.
Okay,
so there's a lot going on this wall. They decide they're taking the whole shit. So they take the entire wall home. Home to the headquarters so they can look at it. The house has got wood planks, kind of like how my grandmother's house had inside. So
like the paneling kind of?
Yeah, and lay it out, and they're measuring all this stuff and testing the blood and everything. The big bone that they had seen in the fire pit with the meaty mass on it, gone. Can't find it. They do find a plastic Walmart bag next to the fire that has like ash and a bunch of little bits inside of it. So they take that.
Little bits of what?
Burnt up pieces of bone, human bone, inside the bag that she had tried to clear out of the fire pit.
So it ended up being him?
Yeah. They used luminol in the bathroom to see, if there had been blood that was cleaned up, and it was a war zone. Like there was blood.
Like the entire bathroom lit up.
Yes. So they decide they're going to dig up the septic tank because it wasn't on a water line. And they find bullet casings inside and a Connecticut birth certificate that belonged to Mike Deloge
In the septic
tank. So
how did it survive if it's paper?
I don't know. I thought about that too. And it's been there for like over a year.
Was she that dumb that she flushed like a laminated copy?
Well, I mean, the bullet casings is obvious. Yeah, it was laminated.
Oh, it was?
Yes. And the bullet casings, I can't remember if I saved a picture of that to show you or not. I guess I didn't save it. But they did. There's a picture online of the ID.
You have to send me all of those.
Okay. So they find all this stuff, and they figured out that she had murdered Mike Deloge, that she had dismembered him in the bathroom and like destroyed his body that way. They also find some
But they never found full bones?
Yeah, no, not like whole pieces. Everything
just bits.
Yeah. They find some of Kenny's puke in a vent inside the house, and they took that back and they tested it, and they found toxic levels of nicotine, which is like an easily accessible way to poison someone.
Yeah.
So they believe that Sheila was poisoning him with nicotine.
Do you think the nicotine comes from like the vape, the juices kind of thing?
I don't know.
Or
maybe.
I wonder how they get it.
Vaping, again, also wasn't that big 10 years ago.
Yeah, true. Because you say easily accessible, but I'm like,
she could have been feeding him tobacco. Like, there's...
Oh, yeah, true.
They just know that
it was enough to get him sick.
Levels in his vomit. Yeah. And that's why he was puking, and that's why he was so weak. Because she was super methodical about this. It was all about controlling him. While they were searching around, they found 3 human toes that don't belong to Kenny, and they don't belong to Mike.
Oh. Didn't someone else go missing at some point from earlier in the story, or no?
Maybe you're thinking of her ex-husband.
I'm probably thinking of ex-husband. Yeah. Okay, go on.
He testifies, so he's still alive.
He's still alive. He's still got all his toes.
Yeah, from what I understand. So while all this is happening, Sheila decides she's going to cut and color her hair. She pulls out $85,000 and flees to Massachusetts. This is what she goes with. She starts, like, it's pretty dramatic, like dyes it red and cuts it. But that's her way of dodging everything. I don't know why you need $85,000 to run, but I guess that makes sense.
I wonder how much money she had.
I would imagine she would try to take all of it. And wouldn't that be a red flag to be like, hey,
I don't think you can go to the ATM and pull out $85,000. You have to go in the bank. They have to probably move some fingers around.
Look,
they probably don't have that accessible.
I've seen Ozark, and I know when Marty went to the bank and he had to pull all that money out, they gave him so much shit, and he was like, it's my money. You have to give it to me. And they were like, they had to get some letters signed or something. There's a big
Ozark? Is that TV show?
Yeah.
I need a new show to watch.
Netflix. Okay, so she cuts and colors her hair. In spite of this, they find her really quickly and arrest her on April 2nd in 2006.
Okay.
The investigators find photos in the house documenting Kenny's bruises and wounds that she had kept as trophies. They're super, super disturbing. And there's one that I saved for you. This one I think is like the most messed up photo of all time, which I'm going to show you and then I'm going to tell you.
It's going to give me the biggest nightmares of all time.
Probably. This is a picture of Kenny right before he died. Oops, sorry. They went to a Walmart and he has a black eye here and
I can see
it's like his nose is broken, and he's in he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he's holding these 2 fuel tanks that she's buying.
Put the gas in that's gonna burn him.
Mm-hmm. And she's like trying to cover him up with, it looks like she plopped one of her hats on his head, and he's super weak, but he's still trying to smile in this picture. And
that's heartbreaking.
It's so sad. So sad. And this was her, like, yeah, I got you. Like, everything's going to plan, and
because she's just such a twisted, fucked up person.
But this goes to show like how premeditated it was.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna take your ass to Walmart,
and I'm gonna take a picture to document this,
so I can remember this moment of like victory.
I got you.
And like Walmart employees testified about this. Like they remembered seeing her. There was an altercation where she told the manager that someone bumped into him, and that she was demanding something be done about it. And they all said that he looked like super weak and green, like ashen pallor, and probably had trouble walking and was just covered in cuts and bruises. And so they found these these pictures while they were looking through the house. When the trial begins, her attorneys plead not guilty by reason of insanity, and the minimum sentence for that would be 5 years in a mental institution if she's found to be insane when this happens. Turns out she's found obviously just plain evil and knew exactly what she was doing when she did it, and that it was wrong. She had a journal where she wrote all these notes about how to get rid of a body, how to incinerate them, that it takes at least 4,000 degrees to destroy bone. There were samples of paperwork, like biblical references to a fiery furnace, and she made lists, like these super weird lists. One of them had a number of nicknames for an unknown person, such as Needle Nelly, Would-Be Husband, Count Blood, and the Eagle. And then another list appeared to detail ways of getting rid of a body, like incinerated, burned, flushed, scattered, water, bury, and shovel, death. Psychiatrists testifying for the defense have said that Labarre was abused as a child, and she projected her experience onto her victims. She convinced the men that they were pedophiles and had been victims of incest. She had stated that she had died, went to heaven, and came back as an angel that was sent to kill pedophiles. But she
said that in court?
Mm-hmm. She also talked about how, which she had never said that to the cops before when they were interviewing her.
Yeah.
They'd never talked about that before, but now this is her story suddenly.
Yeah.
Her sister testified extensively. There's a ton of videos. Like, I don't know why that's super upsetting to me too, because they were close.
Yeah.
And like, her sister's, talking about stuff that's obviously very painful for her too, about when they were kids and they would get, abused by their father and stuff like that. And, but she talks about how, they just grew up and she was always crazy Sheila. And Sheila had told her repeatedly while they were growing up that she was a reincarnated clairvoyant witch that had died in the Salem witch trials. Just kind of out there stuff. There's also a video. They play one of those recordings that I was telling you about where she was interrogating Kenny, and you can hear him like really upset, and they started playing one in the courtroom, and in the video excerpt of the trial they start playing the video or the recording, and she throws her head back and is laughing. I guess it,
wow,
I don't know at what, but it's super, super creepy.
Yeah.
So the trial goes through. The psychiatrist says that she was definitely sane and definitely knew what was happening at the time, because she had all this premeditation, like, look at these photos, look at these documents. She knew what she was doing. She went out and got the stuff. She planned on poisoning him first to weaken him. She knew she was gonna, what happened with they found the burnout bed was because the box spring in the mattress had been near that wall, and she had just stabbed him to death and then burned his body.
Yeah.
So they announced that because she was sane at the time, she was sentenced to 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole on June 20th in 2008. When they announced her sentence, because she was deemed sane, she acts really happy that she's not crazy. Like, I told you I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Where a normal person would be like, oh no, I could have had 5 years in a mental institution, but now I'm serving 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole.
Yeah.
So not really clear there.
Maybe sane, but obviously it's stupid as fuck.
Yeah. This was over 10 years ago. Her appeal in 2010 was rejected, and she's currently serving her sentence in Lowell Annex in Florida. And they still to this day do not know where the other 3 toes came from.
Oh, I forgot about the toes. Yay! That's good. Yay! Oh, that's horrible. Poor Kenny. Poor both of them, actually.
It's so sad. Like, I think let me see if there's other pictures I have to show you. I wanted to show you this. This is Mike's mom in court. Like, they do the victim statements afterwards. This is a picture of her and Mike sitting on the couch, hanging out. She looks so proud. And this is Kenny's mom. Aww. And her victim statement, like, I watched that video and it's so sad. He had a brother, and she talks about how her kids were her whole life, and Sheila killing Kenny took away half of her whole being.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sad. So sad. And that is the story of crazy ass Sheila.
Fucking Sheila.
another picture. She just looks like pure evil insanity to me.
And there's nothing sexy about her.
Mm-mm. She also has, they talk about how she's very grandiose and talks about how she just has this inflated sense of self-worth, and she's very, like, when you hear her speak in the trial, it makes my skin crawl because she acts like she's a beauty contestant.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up. Not right now.
Yeah, the videos are pretty disturbing. Like I said, when I chose this one, I didn't realize how recently it happened, and there is so much coverage available.
Yeah. I like that. You did good job.
Thank you. I've been so excited to tell you about it because I was like, oh, she's gonna love this shit.
Okay. Well, we're gonna end this like we always do, with the Wheel of Endings. Breaking news alert. Okay, let's see what's breaking news right now.
Kanye and Kim got another surrogate pregnant, or they're going to next year.
Another one? They're trying to get like a basketball team or what?
He wants 7 kids apparently.
Isn't that a basketball team? Or is that 5? I don't know. I don't do sports.
You don't play the sports ball?
I don't do the sports ball and the foosballs and things. Oh no. Okay, breaking news alert. There was a body found floating in the ship channel. Did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was just posted this morning and updated at 1:30 today. So the Houston Police Department is investigating a body found in the ship channel in East Houston. The body was discovered around 8 a.m. Saturday, just today. Workers secured the body for police. Workers at the plant? Weird. How would you secure a body if you found one at like marine?
Is it like floating away?
I don't know. I would think it's probably in the water floating maybe at the edge.
I mean, are they saying secured like they threw a rope over it to keep it from...
There's no details.
I don't think I would.
It's just
you're disturbing like evidence.
Exactly, that too.
But not everyone, you know...
But you don't want to wash away either.
Yeah.
Because you have no evidence, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like I would let it go. I don't know.
I wouldn't touch it.
That's disturbing.
I wouldn't touch it. Police said it appears to be the body of a woman. The medical examiner's office will determine the identity and cause of death. Okay. This should be a subject in itself. Comment section on the news. Fucking the worst people in the world comment on
news articles.
It's not your Facebook comments and stuff like that, but the actual news article comments. I don't know why I look at them. I really don't know why. I'm not gonna read it if there's a bad one. Someone said, I can't tell you how many times we have been down in that same area in the past. We have pulled a few people out of there that has been shot or beaten. This is a graveyard for mob hits. I didn't know that. That's not real. That's not true. Not a good place to swim, I presume. All right.
Okay. Do you think you're funny?
There was another woman's body.
Do they suspect foul play?
It doesn't say anything yet because it just happened.
Oh.
Well, I mean, maybe they do and they haven't said anything about it yet. Someone said there's another woman's body found in the Sims Bayou on December 26th, not far from the spot. Serial? ? Lots of bodies in the ship channel. Hard to see with all that debris.
Come on.
Did this woman have catfish bites all over her body? One just says, not me. And then someone replied on there and put, good to know.
Wow. Definitely couldn't be that guy. What if that is like a murderer? He's like, I'm going to comment on this news article.
I bet it's a human body.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Someone put underneath her comment, hopefully a liberal. And they spelled liberal wrong. All right. Well, that was our breaking news. Cool. Well, it was fun talking about gross stuff with you.
We did, man. We went pretty
dark. Okay. Yeah. Hey, it's fun hanging out with you. Have a wonderful day. And please, don't have any nightmares, maybe. Bye.
Bye.
Hey y'all, it's giveaway time. And who doesn't like free stuff? We're giving you a $50 Visa gift card, and all you gotta do is rate and or review us on any platform. Take a screenshot and email it to RidicuLizPodcast@gmail.com. That's RIDICULIZ podcast@gmail.com. you'll get a submission for a rate and a review. So if you do both, you'll get 2. You can get 1 extra submission a day if you share any of our posts on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter and tag us. Must be 18 or over and live in the US for shipping. Deadline is February 21st, and winner will be announced in the following week's episode and emailed privately. Good luck, guys. Thanks for listening to RidicuLiz. Our cover art is done by Ashley Cole. Check out our website and blog at RidicuLizPod.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at RidicuLizPod, on Instagram at RidicuLizPodcast. And if you have any ridiculous stories of your own, please email us at RidicuLizPodcast@gmail.com. That's RIDICULIZ podcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and wherever else you get your podcasts. More importantly, if you like our show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It's really the best way to help us out. We're also an independent show, so if you would like to support us and get a shout out, visit our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/RidicuLiz. See you next time.
Is this your 30 days of yoga?
Does this count?
I'm so excited that like no one's gonna know what's happening.
Nope. Just take a picture of me. I'll put it on the Instagram.
With you. Okay.
I'm just kidding, please. Okay.
Are you proud of me that I'm jacked now?
Are you jacked?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, you're going to steal gun show. I showed Julian.
What did he say? What a fucking loser?
Yeah. And you're listening to RidicuLiz, a podcast based in Houston where we discuss all things scandalous desire.
That was bizarre.
Well, because we're this. I mean,
and so while I was writing that, and while I found that factoid, I was like, I wonder what the non-binary stats are. Like how many we should do next time. We should do like transgender murderer or something like that.
Murderer or
equal
murderee?
Opportunity.
Both, one of each.
Lady in red. Yeah,
that's not how that song goes.
I mean,
cute. I love your background.
That's how it goes now. Me too. Y'all will never know what it is. So they would have to like T9 text to each other and stuff.
I was so good at that for a while.
I probably still could tear up some T9 texts.
Fuck yeah.
I wonder if they have like competitions. I'm sure they do.
They used to have texting competitions because won one. It was
Hers
like at the mall.
Normal.
Huh?
Hers was like a normal keyboard like we know today, right? Not T9.
No, it was a T9.
It wasn't?
Yeah. I remember because she had to like because you have to click them. So
I wonder what messages she had to text. That's so lame.
I don't remember. You have to ask
That's such
her.
a lame thing to have like be part of your life.
Why is that? Like, why is that something I remember?
I don't know.
That she won a texting competition in a mall. All right. I don't even know if it was a mall. Whatever.
Somewhere.
I could make him this whole thing.
Do they have? Yeah, that never happened. That's the worst story. Just made this shit up. Did you look in the bag?
For me.
Did you even actually look for it?
No, I didn't actually.
I lost it. Where could it be?
I kind of like glanced and was like, I skimmed the room and I was like, no straw here.
Is it hanging above your bed where it's next to the knife?
I didn't look up.
Or down. You like that?
I honestly, the first thing that went through my head was like, look at these weapons.
But
like,
yeah,
hey.
I mean, that too.
And then I thought of your...
Take us to the gun show, yeah. Like she was taking them to her gun show.
Yeah.